Hey there! This time we're going to do a little app review on the Guthooks app, which I find to be, a spoiler alert, fantastic app for long distance hiking especially, but regular backpackers can use it too depending on what trail you're on. So the Guthooks app I have found to be a very effective and cost-effective smartphone app that works really well if you are going to be into certain types of backpacking, especially through hiking, long distance backpacking. I do believe it started out basically just being a guide to the Pacific Crest Trail. That was kind of an online thing, but has since sprung out to be an international guide. Once you can download the app, I believe, for free, but to actually access specific maps, that's where the purchases come in. But I have to say that the purchases are not overly expensive. They're not gouging. You know, I do believe for what you get, they're worth the money. For example, for me, Pacific Crest Trail, that's going to be my examples because that's, you know, what I have been concentrating on lately and things like that. For the Pacific Crest Trail, the thing that sets, for me anyway, Guthooks apart from other apps that can run on GPS as a locator and other things like that. For me, Guthooks stands above the rest because of its basically real-time communication that you can do between hikers and things like that. You know, a lot of apps are out there that will tell you this many miles and here's the trail and the elevation is this and here's what you're going to be doing, and there's some water sources here and there's some towns here where you can resupply, blah blah blah. A lot of apps can do that. A lot of basic maps you can handle that and things like that. The thing I like about Guthooks is if I am a hiker on the trail and I'm on the trail June 2nd, say in Warner Springs, I can actually put in the app, at Warner Springs, such and such creek is dry, but the water fountain here at Warner Springs is turned on, ready to go, and the community center is open. The people are here and they say they're going to be here for the rest of the summer. Okay? Now, any hiker behind me who has the app can look at Warner Springs if they're doing their pre-planning. If they're on the trail, say 2 days behind me. Oh, look at that. As of today, Warner Springs has got this, this, and this. So that's good. I can't count on this creek because this guy said today it's dry. I'm going to be getting there 2 days later, so there's not going to be any water. So I can't count on that as a water source, but I can count on this area, this and that. So I think that's a really amazing feature that really puts it above other trail apps and things like that, which are pretty much static. They give you nice maps, and some of them are quite detailed maps. That's fantastic. Where the Guthook maps are not as detailed, but the stuff you can do with the app itself just sets it apart. And then the other aspect of it that I really like, being a person who likes to plan my hikes, I don't do meticulous. If you watch my video on you know, your first backpacking trip, one of the keys I said you should be, and it's not just for your first trip, it's for every trip, you should be flexible. You should be open to the changes that are going to happen when you get out on the trail. They're just going to happen. And so the thing about Guthooks is you do need to do some planning for trips, and Guthooks is fantastic for that kind of thing. Because both my trips when I was ready to go to the PCT, that's how I got my basic itinerary. Now I know in the back of my head that this could change. Absolutely could change. That's just how it is. But this is my basic framework that I'm going to start with. And I was able to get that by using the Guthooks app. Because what the Guthooks app allowed me to do is kind of look at things ahead of time. Okay, I expect to get this many miles the first day. So I look on the app and somewhere around that mileage, find out where there are camping areas. Oh, okay, there's an undeveloped flat spot here for camping off the trail. Oh, over here there's one too. So I'm hoping to get 10 miles. I see that there's a camping spot at 9.6. There's also one at 11.1. Okay, either of those are close enough to 10 miles for me to be within my striking range. And so there we go. That's what I'm shooting for. If I happen to be amazing that day and get to that point early in the day, maybe I'll keep going. I can look on the app. Oh, there's 5 miles away. There's another spot. I feel good. I'm going to go for that. And so I do. But that's the kind of thing that the app lets you do, is helps you change things on the fly, but ahead of time you can actually help plan that before you're even out on the trail. It gives you that idea of, okay, here's some water sources, so I know that day I'll be able to try and get water here and here, and those look like, looking back at the other comments, fairly reliable water sources. They're usually there most of the hiking season. Oh, this one's a seasonal one, looks like it's not going to be there by the time I go through. So there's, it helps you plan things where a lot of other, again, static apps, a little harder to plan with those. So Guthooks app, I consider it really good. And the other thing, like I said, it's not just for specific trails now. It started out, I think, with the PCT, then of course moved on to the other 2 big ones for the Triple Crowners. But now if you look at their app, your choices are amazing, and they're even international. They've got the Caminos in Europe. They've got trails from all over the place that now have that information and things like that. So it's really cool. Most of the large trails are covered now by Guthooks, which I think is an amazing thing. So if you're into the longer distance hiking, or even if you're not completely into super long distances, but you're looking at doing 100, 150 miles, a week out there backpacking, and it happens to be on one of these bigger trails that Guthooks, it may be worth the money just to know water sources, camp areas, and just general things like that. So Guthooks, I give a definite 4 out of 5. They'd get a 5 out of 5 from me. If they would just be totally broad any trail, but that's a pipe dream, because that's how much work that is. I'm sure it's crazy. But 4 out of 5, because it's an outstanding app that is helpful on the trail. It's helpful off the trail for planning purposes. And the real time, that's the biggest thing that just sets it apart, is the fact that fellow hikers can leave messages for each other, for anyone else on the app, to give information about, hey, this campground, watch out, near the big rock, there's an ant colony, so be careful where you set up your tent. Hey, this creek, the big thing is the water stuff. This creek is dry, this one is flowing as of this date, the water spigot at such and such is turned off or it's on. All that kind of information is invaluable when you're out there on the big trails, and Guthook just brings it right to you. So that's my semi-quick review on the Guthooks app. 4 out of 5. I think it's fantastic. Highly recommended if you're going to be doing backpacking on the big trails. And even without spending money, you can look at the app and see what trails, what areas they have. So you can kind of tell, okay, is this worth it for me? Am I going to be hiking these areas? Okay, then I'll go ahead and get it. No, this isn't my cup of tea. I'm not going to hike those particular areas. Well, then there you go. You haven't spent any money. So, Guthooks app, 4 out of 5, and we'll see you next time.